Great day to lace them up and get outside. Those fall colors are just starting to pop here in the southern half of the state, and the weather has been absolutely perfect. Get outdoors, and get moving. One great way is, again, to lace up those sneakers and run. And this is a great little resource for you. And the book is called The Running Coach, author of 50 Best Tips Ever for Running Fitter, Faster, and Forever. That coach and that author is Scott Welle. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Is this the time of year people do start? Because I would guess, if I'm looking at winter, I'd say maybe I don't want to start running until the spring because I don't have a longer season, but this is ideal here in Minnesota.
Oh, it's great. Fall is probably the best time of year to be running, and really getting out there with seasons changing. And I think as Minnesotans, you have a short period of time left that you're able to do it. So it's like, let's get it while we can before Mother Nature takes us down.
And make the most of it. Let's start talking about this book in general. Is this for everybody, whether you're just starting or if you're really already putting on a lot of miles?
It is absolutely for everyone. And really it was born out of my background's in exercise physiology and sports psychology, but the way that I got started running is I didn't grow up as a runner. I mean, I only ran if someone was chasing me, literally.
Usually your brother.
Exactly. I have an older brother who did that. And when I first started running, I was injured all the time. So I know what it's like to have stress fractures, calf strains, IT band, knee problems, and things like that. So it was really kind of a process of self-experimentation and really me trying to fix myself first and figuring some things out as well as the knowledge that I'd acquired through education, and then putting it into the book in a way that I think people will really be able to use.
Let's talk about those. Running injuries so common, whether people are just starting out. I think that it stops a lot of people, sideline them, because then they'll say, all right, this isn't for me. Can we fix most injuries, and maybe what's causing, if you can generalize it, most of our running injuries?
Well, I mean, I usually subscribe to the philosophy that people don't get injured because they run. They get injured because they run wrong.
Okay.
And I think...
So there is a cause.
Yes, there is a cause, certainly. And I think the first part of it is, technology is great and everything, and GPS and training computers, but I see so many runners that are just doing this constantly and are always looking at their pace or looking at their heart rate, and I think they've kind of lost touch with the starting point for a lot of people is to just run naturally and run free and run like you were a kid, the way that you were meant to run, and that's kind of the starting point. And then the other part of it is running's an impact sport. So inherently it's going to do a little bit more damage. You were talking about your knees before.
Well, I used to run 4 or 5 days a week, and now I'm down to 2 because, I mean, it is such a great exercise. It's a great way, especially now, to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors. So what should we do then? Is it shoes? Is that the key then in our gait, how we run?
It is. A lot of it is that. And certainly there are some simple tweaks that you can make. Some of the mistakes that I see runners make often is, we call it vertical oscillation, but it's basically bouncing up and down when you run.
They're just pounding your knees.
Exactly. The elite level runners, they move forward when they run, and that's how they move most efficiently. And then the other thing to wrap your head around is, like, if you go out for a 60-minute run, each one of your feet is going to hit the ground over 5,000 times.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. So 10,000 plus between both feet. And you think about it, the terrain that you run on has a big impact on the impact forces on your body. So to be able to, if you can, get off tar, get off concrete, get on something that's a little bit friendlier on your body. And I think of the hot spots that people run around here, like, running the river, running the lakes. I run in Uptown a lot, even running up Summit Avenue, running on Minnehaha Parkway. On almost all those places, off to the side of the tar path, there's a little stretch of dirt.
Boulevard or something.
And I cringe when I see so many runners coming down and they're all running on the tar. Because if they would get off of that and just run on the dirt or run on the gravel.
It's that simple?
Well, that's a big part of it. Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you were going to take a hammer and if you were going to hammer down on either tar or concrete 5,000 times for each side versus doing that on dirt or gravel or mulch or anything else, yeah, it has a massive effect over time.
We have about 90 seconds left. I want to ask you, Twin Cities Marathon coming up, and you're running it. First weekend, it's the first weekend in October, right?
It is.
What are some of the tips for people, whether they're doing the whole or the 10? Right now, where should they be, and what should they be looking for?
Start out slowly.
Yeah.
First off.
Well, that is an emotional time. A marathon is an emotional time.
It is, absolutely. And I always say the patient, the disciplined runner always performs the best. So there's race day motivation, and people are rested, and it's really tempting to just fly out of the gate, whether you're doing the 10 or whether you're doing the full. And you need to peel that back. You need to be patient. You need to slow down. We don't know what the weather is going to be like right now, but you certainly want to stay hydrated. Not just water, but I will usually alternate Powerade and water at each aid station throughout the course of the race. And then stay relaxed. You know, really is the biggest thing. When you get towards the end of the race, a lot of times they'll get tense in the hands, they'll get tense in the arms, and they'll start kind of running like this.
Like a madman.
You will. And people don't realize that the legs follow the arms in the running stride. Yeah. So if you can stay relaxed here, your legs are just going to turn over better, and you're going to have a better race.
Last piece of motivation then for people who may be sitting here watching and they may think, it's something I always wanted to do. What's your one key as far as getting started? Is it just literally to get up off the couch and get out the door?
It is literally just to get started. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a TC10 or the full marathon or your local 5K. Like, just get started. I had to get started. I shared the story that I only ran if someone was chasing me. And everybody has to start somewhere. So just get going.
This is great stuff. And here's the book again. It is called The 50 Best Tips Ever for Running Fitter, Faster, and Forever. Scott Welle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck coming up on Saturday, on the first Saturday in October.
Thanks a lot.